Okay, so now, since we've done some examples, I've walked through and talked through some of the strategies to solve trigonometric integrals. Now I'm going to go through the steps, the strategies of how do we approach these. Okay, so strategy number one, if k is odd, so again, to integrate integrals, trigonometric integrals like these, we use the following strategies. So one is if k is odd, so if the k on the sign is odd, then we're going to rewrite kx by shaving off one of the signs. We're going to write it this way. And then we're going to use the Pythagorean identity to rewrite the sine k minus 1 term that's left over in terms of cosine, and then we're going to use the u substitution, u equal to cosine, to integrate. Okay, and so that's what we're going to do. Now, strategy 2 is if cosine is odd. If cosine is odd, then we're going to basically do a similar steps, but this time we're going to shave off one of the cosines so that we get an even cosine power times a single cosine. And then we're going to use the identity again, the Pythagorean identity, but we're going to use it to substitute for cosine to put everything in terms of sine. And then we're going to use the u substitution for u equal to sine in order to simplify things and integrate. And so then we're going to use this du equal to cosine dx, cosine x dx. Now, note that if both of the exponents are odd, then it doesn't matter which strategy we use, 1 or 2. Either one will work fine, okay? So if 1 is odd, then use one of these two, right? So if the cosine has an odd power, use strategy 2. If the sine power is odd, then use strategy 1. If both of the powers are odd, then it doesn't matter which one you use. Okay? Now, if the powers are even, if both of these powers are even, then you're going to have to use the power reducing identities for your substitution. And then once you do the power reducing identities, then what you'll have to do is simplify and then look and see which strategy work. You may have to go back and do 1, 2, or you may have to do 3 again. Okay? So that's where the strategy comes in, is you've got to be careful because you may have to do more than one strategy to finally solve it. Okay? So, or you may have to do one strategy multiple times. Okay? And typically, I'm talking about strategy number 3. Okay? So let's do some examples and show this in action.